I don't know, yo, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what got your feathers ruffled. I don't know what you got going on. This one I'm perplexed by, but it's Big K Busy. We back. We here to talk a little bit. So DJ Akademiks goes off on Cassie, Brittany, Renner, and India Love for turning to God. Now this titling sounds wild. I know. I read this and I'm like, the fuck is he on? Now if you don't know, I believe India Love recently came on social media and said like she's trying to get into religion now more recently, and I'm like, oh cool, that's nice. You know, you finding yourself spiritually again. It doesn't matter what you believe, but hey, you know, go on your journey. We all seen Brittany Renner convert to being a Muslim and stop doing her little like entrapment ways, trying to get these baby daddies and shit like that. And then Cassie, I would appreciate. Listen, I know niggas want to say some shit about Cassie with the whole freak off situation, but she went through a lot. She did went through a lot. So I'm happy if she did do that, and that gives her a little bit more self-worth and respect for herself. I will respect it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let's see what Ak had to say. DJ Akademiks is known for his rants on stream, and recently he decided to go off on women like Brittany Renner, India Love, and Cassie. I want to see the actual context. So DJ Akademiks is someone who's very consistently very critical of those who end up in the news cycle. Speaking frankly, there is no doubt that he has targeted women over there. Listen, he goes after men and women. Sometimes, like, it's just because maybe the times he goes after women, it's more like, I guess, goes more viral than him going after the men, I think that's what it is, but he does go after men and women. Like, he gives the same energy. I guess the woman one goes more viral. That's just me. But anyways, as I continue. His commentary about certain women have been tasteless, and he has been called out for it. This reputation certainly won't be going away anytime soon, especially when you consider the rant he went on during a recent live stream. In it, this is where Ak spoke at length about the recent trend of women turning to... So is he trying to insinuate that women are trying to do this to be trendy instead of actually wanting to change their life and give up their life to God? Maybe that's where he's going. Let me see what's going on. So about a year ago, Brittany Renner converted to Islam after years of her relationships being in the public eye. Meanwhile, India Love recently came out and said that she would be turning to God. She noted that she felt taken advantage of in her youth. Hey, listen, if you saw that reality show and nigga, you seen her relationship with the game and what happened at the little bench at the park or whatever the fuck it was, babe, I could tell you might have been taken advantage of a little bit. But anyways, this is why she wanted to decenter men and find purpose elsewhere. While these are certainly noble pursuits, Akademiks believes there is cynicism behind them. He provided that cynical perspective on stream, and there is no denying that some will take offense to what he is saying. All right, what he said. Alleged in his opinion says every ran-through woman in the industry eventually turns to God, trying to find a good man after years of being awesome. Okay, hold on. I know they're gonna kill him for this, but hold on. I gotta let him cook a little bit. See, this is my thing. I'm not necessarily saying they're turning to God, because a lot of the time, this is the thing. When you're young and dumb and just want to be outside and be at the party, you're not really considering shit. So yes, it does get to the point that later on people take their faith or Bible study or biblical studies more seriously as they age compared to them being young and dumb. That happened to my homeboy of mine. Me and my man, bro, he was at the club, he was drinking, nigga. This nigga was doing whatever. Later on, nigga, this nigga got a little bit older and he had a health scare, changed his life. You know, started taking shit seriously, go to church every Sunday, all this and that. So it does happen. It happens to men as well. I can't just let him kill the women. Now, I get his perspective of you, the thought girl. Everybody wants you. You smashing or rocking out with all these celebrities, doing whatever. You know, in the terms of Brittany Renner and who else? Baby, you know, baby fathers. You used to say you would trap these niggas. These niggas coming out of college. Because, again, very pretty woman. I don't want no shade on Cassie. I feel like Cassie caught a stray. So... Cassie, you know, of course, you know, the whole Diddy situation, but I feel like a lot of shit was going on. A lot of shit was going on. So, again, I might be giving her a little bit of the pass because I feel a little sorry for her. But yeah, India Love as well. Again, I don't, to my knowledge, she doesn't have baby fathers. But even still, like, doing all this in the mix, dealing with all these famous rappers or whoever, athletes, whoever the hell, smutting, doing all this, getting tricked on by these men, and then after a while, when these guys, because they know what type of girl you are, you're not necessarily the wifey or bring her to mom type of woman, and they just go and settle down with somebody else. Maybe you're like, why didn't he settle down with me? I should try to change my life and change my values so I can find a decent dude. This practice has been done. So I get what he's saying. Bringing the religion into it, that's where I'm like, you lost me a little bit. But again, part of your growth and you getting older and realizing certain things don't matter anymore, you could realize that, your beliefs and spirituality is a little bit more important. So you start practicing it more and more. See, this is the thing. People can change. And we have to acknowledge that. And we grow of age. And certain things that we cared about when we were younger, we don't care about now. Now, yes, you have built a reputation and it is hard for niggas to believe. This is where I kind of understand what he's saying. But like, people can change. We do have to respect that. So I'm a little 50-50 with him. I'm not going to 100% kill him because I see where he going. But that's just me, maybe. I'm not putting Cassie in this as well. Cassie been through it, bro. Cassie been through it. Because she loved that nigga. The thing with Cassie is she loved that nigga Diddy. She would do anything for that nigga. She's kind of Stockholm at some point. She loved that nigga, even to the point that, yeah, she might have been dating Kid Cudi. Maybe she was messing around with Kid Cudi. But she always went back to Diddy. And Diddy was on some bullshit. So I'm not going to put Cassie there. The fact that she got a decent dude, she's giving her life to God, she having kids and shit, she having a good old life. And to be fair, even though she's with this nigga who her husband used to be Diddy's personal trainer, I still think a part of her love that nigga still. Love that nigga Diddy still. Because sometimes, when you been through a lot with a motherfucker, bro, I ain't here to talk about Cassie. Anyways. Akademiks accuses India Love and Brittany Renner of being whores. I'm not going to call them that. But again, yes, promiscuous women. Maybe they were talking to a lot of people and being party girls, if you will, who are only using God as a way to rebrand themselves. I'm not going to say that. Potentially they could be. I'm not going to say that. He also goes on to say that if he were to check Cassie's Instagram account, he would probably say something similar. Don't do that to Cassie. I'm not agreeing with Cassie. It is an assumption that is most certainly rooted in some kind of misogyny. It's hard to feel Axe hatred of women seething through the screener. I get where he's going, as in the girls who were like lit, trying to have multiple baby daddies, sucking and fucking, they're trying to rebrand themselves. I get that. Him putting that with them going to God, I don't agree with. Because again, as you get older, you realize certain things are more important and their spiritual connection to their higher power is now more important. I can respect that. Now, yes, them settling down and stop being on some whole activity. Yeah, you can say that's a rebrand, if you will. Because they want niggas to take them serious because they realize that behavior, niggas wasn't taking them serious. They realize that. Also, like, respect to Brittany Renner. I still am confused about that Kevin Gates marriage. Like, y'all niggas was married for like 30 days. What happened over there? Like, dead ass. That shit was confusing as fuck. But besides all that, having said that, this has proven to play well with his audience. Over the years, his audience has encouraged these kinds of hot takes. As a result, Akademiks takes in stride. Whether or not India Love and Brittany Renner will respond to Akademiks is something that remains to be seen. The hip-hop commentator is rarely checked for having these kinds of takes. Yeah, I feel like he jumped a little bit too much over the ledge. Girls rebranding from having hoish activity is a separate topic than women who are aging, or people in general, not even women, sorry, I take that back. People who are young and dumb now growing up and realizing they should have a spiritual connection with a higher power. I feel like these are two different conversations that can definitely be had, and they don't, you could say they kind of interact with each other. Because again, if you're realizing you have self-worth, that's perfectly fine. You might have had to go through your whole phase or do what you had to do to realize you have self-worth. But I'm not going to say giving your life to Christ or giving your life to God is a rebrand. It's part of the rebrand in general. I'm not gonna say that. It's part of you being a better person, which if you're rebranding yourself that you're not on that type of time, fair. But I'm not gonna say that everyone is doing it with that purpose again. And I'm not putting Cassie in there. That nah. Cassie been through it. Respect to Cassie. I'm sorry. But yeah, what do y'all think about this? You already know what it is. Friendly Neighborhood KA signing off for today. The Black TJ did while they're doing this thing. My name ring bells like Quasimodo. Hit like, subscribe. You try and hit a little bit more to hear me. And I'm gone. Shalom, Zoom, peace, gang. Aye.